folks, Parkera here, and welcome to the season review and end of season awards. Camera is off today because I may cover bits and bobs of information that you might want to see, so I feel it's best to play it safe. So we've just been eliminated from the semi-finals. We haven't advanced further to find out if Edinburgh go up. The reason for that is because the awards are, well, you'll see them there in my inbox, okay? And I just wanted to cover, really, apart from the playoffs, as much as I can from the season review. Let's just start with the league in front of us as it ended here. And just have an overall look at the competition. We were expected to finish fourth. I think the media had us at second. We came third. On goal differential from second, really, to be fair. And not too far, 3 points away from first place. So we were within touching distance of the championship, and even the board in one of the emails said that they were delighted with how the season ended, although they disappointed that it couldn't have finished high. We couldn't have done better because at one stage we were, looking likely that we may get promoted as champions. Fair enough. Fair enough. I struggled towards the end of this season. I've completely. The results speak to themselves. Have you seen the last video, the Friday's episode? I'll touch on the results and I'll just go over some of them again. But let's just have a look at here. Clyde played 36 matches. We won 20 games, which is pretty good. Drew 9 against some teams there. And if you look at apart from Berwick and Annan the one time, the rest of the teams were pretty much lower league teams, so missed opportunities for points there, especially against the likes of Cowdenbeath and who else are we looking at? Yeah, Cowdenbeath, Peterhead, and Albion as well. Albion, I mean, we drew twice with them. We drew twice with Berwick as well, but they ended up finishing fourth. So that's not too bad, and of course the 2-2 draw against Annan, pretty good result for us. Loss-wise, even worse, losing when we really didn't need to. Losing to Edinburgh, 5-3. That 5-3 goal game is a real haunter for us. Would have probably made the difference in the end of it. Could have very well have been being 3-1 up at halftime and just falling apart. That's really hurts. 2 losses against Berwick. And also the 2 losses against Annan. Again, even the 3-2 loss against Annan was a disappointing game here, where we managed to fight back and draw 2-2 for them to get a last-second goal. So, yeah, missed opportunities. It could have made a season a whole lot different. 72 goals for 47 against, goal difference of 25 for 69 points. Not too bad. I just want to go back here, and there's just a few team stats that we can cover here. We scored 72 goals, which is the third highest in the league. Well, we finished third. 47 goals conceded, third best. 46 yellow cards, 6th highest, and 2 red cards, which is the 4th highest. Average attendance 637, which is the 3rd highest. Player-wise, gave David Goodwillie 22 goals, average rating of 7.32 for Goodwillie. Most assists was Chris McStay on 8, and Zach Alabazudi. Again, I think we really did miss them and Goodwillie towards the back end of the season because they were out a lot with injuries. Ray Grant, 76% pass completion. We missed him towards the middle end of the season as well, where we picked up injuries. Player of the match awards, most ones were 6 from Goodwillie. Most yellow cards was Kogu, and worst discipline was a few players there with red cards as well. Not too bad stats. We will go into more detail shortly. If we go back to the league table, I'll see if we can do a profile of it. I think this is where I want to go. Yes, it is. So just looking at here, obviously with relegation playoffs, I kind of realise how that works now. So Elgin beat Bora, so they'll stay up. And in terms of the promotion one, semi-final, final's going to be between East Fife and Edinburgh. And then if East Fife win, they'll stay up in League One, or they'll drop down if Edinburgh win. Yeah, okay. Still, I don't get it. Player stats, goals for the season from the league: 37 goals by B. Henderson from Edinburgh City, 31 goals from Annan by Aidan Smith, and 24 from Mark Stewart and Stirling. Average rating 7.67. B Henderson for Edinburgh, and also the their goal scorer, so very influential player. Edinburgh again in the second place, 7.38 with a C Thompson, and Edinburgh rounding out all three with a 7.33 for Watson there as well. So Edinburgh really, and they really stormed out in the last half of the season, and at one stage almost probably could have taken the championship there. Assist wise, Lewis McLear from Albion with 12, Watson from Edinburgh with 11, and G Taylor from Edinburgh with 10. Player of the match, Henderson from Edinburgh, Smith from Annan, and Josh Peters from Queen's Park. Most clean sheets of Callum and Terry from Edinburgh, followed by Blair Curry, goalkeeper, on 9, so that's not too bad. S. Brennan on Berwick with 8. Yellow card wise, Cameron from 10, Dale for 9, Simon Fay for 7. Injury player league wise, yeah, injuries 3. We had a lot more than 3, so I don't know how this counts, because we've had certainly more than 3 injuries. Actually, let's have a quick look at the medical centre at the moment while that's in my brain. Current injuries are, if it will flick over to me. So currently we've got 3 players out on injury at the moment. But injury history, if you look at the history there for the season, it's pretty intense. I'm not worried about the slights and the minors, even the moderates, but we've had major injuries to Good Willie, which has really hurt us. McStay and Grant, they really hurt. Zach Albazidi with his moderate injury, he's actually not back yet at all, really. Came back, I think, for a little bit on the last game we had against Edinburgh. Really influential there and very dangerous on that left flank, and we struggled to replace him while he was out as well. And also, I think Mukta stepped up fairly well against Good Willie, but I think it was just a difference in class, and it really did hurt us. I want to look at the dynamics of the squad now. Average match cohesion, dressing room atmosphere is very poor, obviously because the results didn't go away. Those two, losing 5-2 on aggregate, or 5-1, on aggregate to Edinburgh in the playoffs certainly wouldn't help there. Then we had a draw and their win beforehand, unfortunately. But still good managerial support. Got 3 players here. Wants a first team chance. He's leaving, and no, Mark Scott's may leave. I've told him to just shut up. And McNiff is leaving anyway. If we go to the hierarchy, Good Willie is a team leader, so he's going at the end of the season. So we're going to be left with nobody at this stage. I'm hoping some of these guys may step up. I don't really know at this stage. As the manager, I have no oppositions, though. Still 11 players who do support me, and 15 who, nah, he's just the boss, Happiness is fairly good. I kind of buggered up a team talk. They had the opportunity for a team meeting before the playoffs. And I said, let's go out there and grab the final. We've been really good. Most of the team reacted negatively, saying, well, we need to take our time and stuff to get to the finals. Okay. It is what it is. Before we touch on the squad in more detail, let's have a look at the inbox now for some of the awards. So the season review is touched on for Clyde. We lost in the Scottish Cup versus Ayr United, that's all right. Knocked out in the Bedford Cup of the group stages. Ladbrokes League 1, lost in the relegation playoffs. We know that. Don't remind me. Iron Brew, lost in the 3rd round against Moreton. Finished 3rd overall in the league. Average attendance, which was touched on, 7% full, 637. Very, very disappointing. We need to help that more. 35 players used, which is the highest in the league. Yeah. Match of the season, they reckon 5-3 against Peterhead. And moment to forget, the 3-1 against Edinburgh, which was in the semi-finals. I guess that's the most recent. To me, it would be the collapse of 5-3 collapse that we had. Yeah, so we'll go through, and I thought we were going to have the awards. It hasn't happened yet. Okay, so I'll go through, and then we'll just touch on the team as we go through to the next bit here. Okay, so I've advanced a wee while, a few days. Interesting. So I just want to cover, because it has now been done, the playoff final. So Edinburgh went up as promoted team, Eden beating East 5-2-0. Obviously at Clyde we don't believe in end of season awards because we've had nothing presented to us in my inbox. It is the 18th of May. I'm pretty sure it's usually done by now. So if it's done a bit later, I'll put it into the end of this. Let's just do it ourselves. So that's the squad. Obviously, there's some loanies, and they've got one lad here who's on trial with us, as well as actually two. One of them is due to actually sign with us after his trial, and I believe it's this lad down here, which I'll cover later. But let's just have a look. So let's just have a look at appearances. It doesn't really make much of a difference, but 42 from Jordan Stewart. Really, until the last 2-3 weeks of the season, he was the man. More of the man than Becky Lynch is the man. Okay? Never missed a game. Played every ruddy game practically. 42 appearances. Pretty happy with him. 6.34 the last 5 games. We did have injuries amongst that. Pretty happy with his potential and his ability. But anyway, and then followed by Coggle, youngster. Good, decent there. 39 games, 38 for Cuddles. So you can see, even though we had the most players used in the season, we did have a lot of guys who played a lot of games. Anyway, goal-wise, and I did touch on it, and I've mentioned it a few times. David Goodwillie, 27 appearances for 22 goals, 3 from the bench. Now, he got injured fairly early on towards the end of this half of the season. So where did he... Yeah, beginning of February, he was out for 6 weeks. And then he played half an hour, if that, in the reserves when he just got back to... finish his rehab, and now he's out for another 6 weeks. So we really did miss him. As much as it pissed me off, I would have rather had them fit for the last half of the season and then left Melbourne. Melbourne must be wondering what they're getting, though. 22 goals from 27 appearances, really. He would have probably, I would say, if he had been fit, we would have probably gone up as champions. I mean, you just look at that ratio from games to goals. You know, there's just no contention for him. Anybody else, really. But, hey, then I want to look at Mr. Belmokhtar, the lad who stepped up and had to step up when he got injured. 31 appearances, 10 on the bench, right? 15 goals from 31. Let's discount these 10. That's a pretty good return for someone who was, for the majority of the first part of the season, playing in the cup games, came on the bench. It's only really since Goodwillie got injured and started picking up a spam because he wanted to leave that Belmokhtar got a look in. 6.94 rating. I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's just have a look at Belmokhtar here. He's a 22-year-old striker. So at 22 years, there's still advancement that we can make there. I want to look at seeing if we can get his pace up. Some of his physicals do let him down. I'm going to go through anyway. The 14 then goals from Jack Boyle, who, even though it says he's attacking midfield, right, left, centre, if you do recall, played predominantly as the shadow striker. So that's a good return, I think, for him. A 7.05 average rating as well. Zach Alzabudi, now before he got injured, really a good threat on that left wing, especially as an inside forward. He was only with us for 18 games so far and contributed 6 goals. Pretty good for that side there. And if we round out the top 5, Cuddles, it's 5 goals from 38. From a midfielder, defensive midfielder, pretty good. Assist-wise, and this is where it does hurt a lot, the highest was Chris McStay on 8, and that was when he was playing on the flanks before he got injured. Then we had Zig's ability, 8, again, winger, until he got injured. Then Belmokhtar, the striker, 7, Goodwillie, 7, Jack Boyle, 5. The assists all being in single digits is a concern. To me, it is a concern. No one stood out as the man. I'm hoping to look at changing that next season. Average ratings, 7.4 from Connor Higgins. Now, he only played one full game, so let's discount them straight away. Good Willie, fair enough. Top of the pops, 7.32. We've already discussed his stats there. Zach Al-Zabudi, 7.08 from 18 appearances on the wing, and 7.05 for Jackie Boyle as the shadow striker. Kieran Campbell, though, 10 games, 4 assists, 3 goals, 6.99. Pretty good rating there. I'm happy with him, and I think he'll be good for the future. 19-year-old, just came at the end of the season, in the window there, roundabouts as a new player. And then Balmokta stepping up for 6.94s there. Would like to see some more going ahead. Now, if we look at ability, according to the coaches, I've discount Good Willie straight away. We are left with Palmer as a loanee. I don't know if we can get him back because that's not giving me the option to renew. So really we have Lockheed, Kogel, and then Balmokta. We got work to do. What do you want me to have a look at? Crosses. Let's just have a look. Tackle completion ratio. Let's discount these guys. Okay, so Balmokta, 31 appearances, 100% tackles, never missed a tackle. Really? Yeah, okay. How many tackles did he put in there? That doesn't tell us all that. Passes completed. Let's have a look at the passes completed ratio. Take away those two because they only played 7 games. Grant 13. So, 41%, 40%, 38. We'd like to see those numbers higher. And again, that comes in a lot to the assists. So I think we will just almost go there. I want to have a look at the board here. I want to have a look at this is what I want to look at, competitions. So these are the expectations, just to remind you of what they set for us. So in the Iron Brew Cup, we were asked to reach the second round. Well, we got knocked out in the third round by Greenock Morton, who ended up going on to win it. Greenock Morton are a championship tied. Happy with that. Good Willie, obviously 3 goals, top goal scorer. Jack Boyle, 9 rating. Most assists, Balmokta with 3. Bedford Cup, well, it was a done and dusted cup. It's done in the pre-season. So, yeah, well and truly knocked out. Be competitive was what we got. We got knocked out by Celtic. Meh. Scottish Cup, reached the 4th round. We got knocked out in the 5th round by Ayr United. So I'm pretty happy with that. The board are pretty happy with that. Good Willie, 2 goals. Grant, 7.75 edge rating. And most assists was by Boyle, McStay, Jordan Stewart, and Rob Ward, Mark Scott. A few players. Ladbrokes League 1. Ladbrokes League 2. As we've covered, we know where we ended up. We know how we go. It's just a recent form. Top goal scorer, 16 goals in the league for Willie, 7.46. So, folks, I think that's it. Going forward, I have deleted the tactics. That's just there for now. It's a thought because I can't have no tactics. I am looking at something completely different. We need to make some improvements in personnel and also some of the tactics, I think, as well. Hit me down below if you've got any suggestions, comments. This video, I'm not sure when it will come out. It may come out in the weekend, most likely. This is being watched now as it's come out Monday night, New Zealand time. I think that's it. If I do come across the awards, we will touch on them. I think we've covered everything. It's just touch on the finances. We haven't got the new rights and stuff yet, so we've ended up with just 19.5k there. Not bad. Still overspent on the wages and obviously the deficit in the transfer budget. All right, I think the playoffs help this. Yeah, so that is Clyde. Shall we have a look at my profile before we go home? It'd be good if it showed up arrows here, if you could see your progress like you can in the player. So that's me. I got my eyes closed. So a photo scan. Yeah. Okay. Nothing to write home about. Played 49, won 25, drawn 9, lost 15. 51% win percentage. Yeah. Defending 8, discipline 12. You can have a look for yourself, really. I think that's about it. And the club is the club. We're looking pretty third, second reputation as a regional team. All right, folks. I think I will leave it there. I am Parkera. I hope you've enjoyed this little episode special. And we will see you next time for, I guess, the first game of the season. See you later.